guys, welcome back to Mutuawini Business Episodes, where we talk all things entrepreneurship and business strategies. Not forgetting that we also do homemaking videos from time to time. So if you're interested in such kind of content, make sure that you click that subscribe button, give this video a like before we get started. So my name is Mutuawini, and today we are going to dive into a very interesting topic, that is Airbnb business in Kenya. We are going to look at factors leading to the growth of Airbnb business in this topic, how to get started, the cost involved with starting an Airbnb business, the profits and the risks involved in this business, and also how much you need to get started. Lastly but not least, I'm going to leave you with contacts of people who can help you, especially if you need to gain more knowledge about Airbnb business before you get started with your business. So if you need to get to know all that information and get contacts of these people, I've actually interacted with them. Yeah, you guys stick up to the end of the video. So let's start by understanding the term Airbnb. So an Airbnb is basically an accommodation arrangement where an individual or property owners rent out their houses or apartments or an extra room in their house to short-term guests. This can be tourists from different countries coming into the country, or maybe people who are on a staycation, or people who are even traveling, who need a space to stay maybe for a night or 2 nights or for a month. That's what we mean by short-term guests. So these hosts list the properties on platforms with details about the property, that is the size of the rooms, with photos and also availability dates, and again with the pricing of the property. Through the platforms, the guests can book a property of their liking, depending on the kind of space they want and the quality of the property they want, and also depending on their budgets. Another thing to note is that the bookings do not only happen on platforms. The guests can book directly through the host. Airbnb properties vary in size, style, amenities, and location. For example, I can decide to start a studio Airbnb business, that is a studio apartment where I'm going to be using it as an Airbnb. Another host can plan to start a 1-bedroom Airbnb space, and another host can also go for a 3-bedroom Airbnb space. This goes back to the people you are targeting. If you are targeting couples, you might go for the studio apartments or 1-bedrooms. But if you are targeting big families who are on vacations, you can go for 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms, depending on the kind of audience you're targeting with your Airbnb business. Talking on the variations on the amenities, you might choose to just have a bed and, let's say, a microwave and maybe Wi-Fi, and that's all. While another host might decide to do a television, TV stands, dining area, a very comfy couch, a bed, and maybe kitchen stuff like plates and a cooker and a microwave. You see all that. So everything varies with whatever level of stuff you've decided to go with. At the same time, the location of your Airbnb can bring some variations. For example, if you have an Airbnb in the coast areas, that is Mombasa, and let's say another person with an Airbnb business in Kisumu, the pricing of everything and how you set up your Airbnb is going to be different. Let me give you a more detailed example. Okay, when I'm setting up an Airbnb in Nairobi, I'm going to go for more of a cozy and I'm going to go for a cozy look. If I'm going to have an Airbnb, let's say somewhere like near a national park, let's say like Masai Mara, somewhere near there, for people who are, for the tourists who are visiting that area, I might decide to go for more of a cultural style. Get that? Yeah, so I won't go for the cozy style with my Airbnb around Masai Mara. I'm going to go for wallets to do with animals, the design of the beds. I might decide to have a wood-headed bed, which has a shape of maybe a lion, something like that together. Moving forward, let's talk about the factors which has led to the increase of Airbnb business in Kenya. I would say that since 2020, people started focusing more of living life than just living for work. And another thing which has led to the increase of Airbnb business in Kenya is that now tourists prefer a more cozy place to stay, which is also cheaper, because we all know that hotels do rent out their spaces at a very high cost. So people who are visiting now prefer to have a more cozy place, which is also affordable. Another factor is the rise of middle class. We know as from 2020, social media has become a source of incomes for so many, especially the young people. Back then, young people had to secure a job for them to be financially stable or to have some extra money in their pockets. But nowadays, since the growth of the social media platforms, which are actually paying, so many people have extra cash in their pockets, and they are trying to live their lives in a better way than they used to do, and that leads to them wanting to travel and explore more in life, which means that people would want to move from their places and go to places like coast and enjoy the beaches, or others would want to travel from the country to other countries. So that's actually has brought me to something else I had not actually tried to tackle in this video, which is areas which are hotspots for Airbnb business, places which are going to help your Airbnb business be profitable. One which is near airports, another one near tourist attraction centers, that is such as Mombasa, or name these Nairobi places or outskirts like Rift Valley. There are so many places which attract tourists, and also we have places near Nairobi. There is Giraffe Center and there is Nairobi National Park. All those places, name them. We also do have Kisumu. Name those places, you guys, Lake Victoria and all those places. To be specific with Mombasa, a place like Bamburi, it's a hotspot when it comes to Bamburi, Nyali, all those places. Malindi, Watamu, they are hotspots for tourists. So those are areas you should be checking on when you're trying to open your Airbnb business. So let's go to how to get started with this business. First, you'll need to choose a location, and as I have told you the hotspots, you get to choose that for yourself. The second thing is to furnish your room. If you don't know if you're not good with interior decor, I'm that person for you. I can help you with that. You can go and check my videos on my house tour. Maybe that will help convince you that I can help you with such services, you guys. If you need such services, kindly reach me out through my email in the description below. One thing I will mention with furnishing your room, you don't need to use so much expensive stuff, but make sure that your style of doing it makes your space look elegant and cozy. The third point is that you need to make sure that the rooms are maintained and clean. That reminds me of something I didn't tell you with point 1, that is choosing your location. Let's say I decide to have my Airbnb near an airport. I will need to make sure that the apartments I identify, it's good to talk with the owners to let them know that you're renting their space, but you're renting it for use as an Airbnb. I talked to some of these Airbnb hosts, and some of them were like, since as long as you've paid the rent, you don't need to let the owners know the kind of thing you're doing with their rooms. But one thing I understand is not every apartment owners agree with you using their property for Airbnb reasons. So kindly make sure that you inform the owners. If they don't agree with whatever you're doing, go and find another space for you to use for your Airbnb purposes. The last point on this is marketing. There's nothing important in business than marketing. I might have a very beautiful place, but if people don't know about it, how is that going to help me? That means that you really need to market your space. You can do that using your social media platforms, or you can pay influencers to market it for you. Let's say especially TikTokers and the YouTubers and these Instagram influencers, you guys. Let's now move to the costs involved with starting an Airbnb business. The first one in our list is registering your business. Every business that is operating and it's giving you money, it needs to be registered so that it can operate legally, because you don't want to get in trouble with the authorities. Another cost that comes with Airbnb is furnishing and decorating your room. We all know all that needs money. For your Airbnb to stand out, you need to make sure that it's beautiful and cozy and it's attracting people to want to spend their time in your house, because those people are on vacations and they need to have their best experiences. That means that they want to spend their time in a beautiful place. Another thing is marketing. As I said earlier, when we were talking about what you need to do when you're getting started, we talked about marketing. And marketing comes with costs, because you need to pay the people who are going to market the property for you. Before we get to the profits for Airbnb business, let's talk about the most important things you need to have in your Airbnb business. One thing, and that is for sure, it's a bed, and make sure that it's comfortable, especially the mattress that you choose for your guest, because you don't want to buy a mattress that after 1 month it's sinking, and when your guests sleep there, they are not comfortable. The next thing, which has become like a need for everyone now, it's Wi-Fi. Make sure that you have Wi-Fi in the house. If you're also targeting people who are coming to stay for longer, let's say for 5 days or a month, you might also need to have a microwave or a cooker in the house, and that means that you will also need to have some sufurias and plates for them to use when they are eating, which also means that you need a couch. But what I will tell you, the most important thing for your space, especially if you're starting with a studio apartment, that means you are on a budget. Make sure that you have a cozy bed and a mattress and Wi-Fi. Okay, moving forward to the profits. The profits of your Airbnb business are dictated by the location, the quality of your property, the competition in that area, and also the market condition. I know you're asking yourself, how much can I make from this business? I'm going to tell you this information at the end of the video. Yeah, it's information I've actually gotten from people who are already operating these Airbnb businesses. First, let's talk about the risks involved. You guys, every business comes with its own challenges, and that means Airbnb business is not left out. So I've had a certain host complain of the client going with their duvet, and also I've had another client complain of finding broken furniture in the house. Also, there is this big story which was going around. There was this client who kind of messed around with the house. It was kind of messy. I don't want to go into details about that story, but these are things which happen with Airbnb business. How do you try and prevent these things from happening? You can't prevent them actually completely, but you can try and ensure that you avoid most of them, or them happening frequently. One thing is that you can try and make sure that you have someone who helps you manage the property, especially if the property is somewhere far from where you live or where you stay. You can talk to the caretaker of the place you've rented out, or maybe you can have someone to always come and check before your client leaves. But I would advise you to make sure that you're friendly with the caretaker. You can even offer to pay them some cash in exchange for them kind of trying and checking your room to make sure that everything is okay. So this should not scare you from starting up your business. Every business comes with its challenges. That is this important question I'm sure you're asking yourself. How much do I need to get started with my Airbnb business? For a studio Airbnb apartment, you might need between 150 to 200,000 Kenyan shillings. For a one bedroom, you might need between 200 and 250 or 300,000 Kenyan shillings, you guys. So that is especially from 200 to 250 when it comes to studio and one bedroom apartment. So make sure that your budget is between that amount. With that, you're going to make sure that you have everything done, especially the necessities. Then for these luxurious stuff, you can add on as times go. After your first client, you might take some money back to the business, maybe add some wallets which were not placed in the room, and that also lifts the standards of your Airbnb, which means you're going to rent it at a higher price. So to the important part of how much can I make from an Airbnb business. First, I'm going to give you the quotation of a night. Most of the Airbnb let's talk of studio apartments and one bedrooms. They mostly range between 3,000 to 5,000 per night. But also this again varies depending on the location of your Airbnb. For example, if you're near the airport, the price might go higher, and the quality of the property is also going to determine the price. I've seen some Airbnb going for 10,000 for a night. Yeah, you guys. So it depends with the location and the quality of the things you have in your space. The average amount you can make from Airbnb operating a studio apartment is between 25,000 to 30,000 a month. But again, this varies with the season. If it's the holiday or festive seasons, the price is also you're going to get more client as compared to seasons like when people are busy. Yeah, the normal days of the year. At the same time, the price of Airbnb varies with the seasons. The price Airbnb hosts are going to rent out their space between, let's say, January to March, or maybe May to August is going to be different from the price they are going to price their property from September to December, which is a festive season, and also maybe April, which is Easter, which is also a festive season. So up to this point, I want to believe you've learned something about Airbnb, especially if you're trying to get started. But if you think you need more information or you need more close guidance on how to get started, I'm going to refer you to this lady. She has been operating Airbnb for some time now. Her name is Clear Angoye. Yeah, you can reach out to her maybe through Instagram, and she can tell you on terms on how she's willing to help you, maybe at a fee or whichever way you guys are going to agree on. You can also check Dafri Travels. Yeah, she's on YouTube. Maybe through that you can try and reach her out through her email. I'm sure she has linked the email in the description of our YouTube channel. Yeah, you guys. So all I can say is I wish you all the best as you get started with your Airbnb business. So until next time, keep trying. Searching for a longer day. People feeling